Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, multiple new champions have been crowned at NXT New Year's Evil.
Jake Atlas is all elite.
Is a dream signing, quote unquote, coming to AEW soon.
And Seth Rollins has got a new name. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
We are going to kick things off today by talking about last night's special New Year's Evil edition of NXT 2.0, which was, for me, the best episode of NXT 2.0 so far.
Oh.
Good matches, big developments, nothing too silly. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Big developments coming out of this show. The hugest one of them all list. Braun Breaker's the new NXT champion. Defeated Tommy Ciampa in the main event to claim the belt. It was, of course, his second shot at the gold. He lost. Was it Halloween Havoc he lost that?
Possibly, yes.
It was in October anyway.
Yeah.
But he won it at the second time of asking. It's only his 9th televised match in WWE, so it's a cool story for him, but it was a really great match. I was critical of the first one, but I thought this one was held together a lot more. The guys looked more comfortable in the ring with each other. Obviously, Ciampa's been very good for a long time, but Braun Breaker, I think, looked better than he ever has in his 9 matches. But yes, it was very good. And after they went off the air, by the way, they got Rick Steiner out to celebrate his son.
Why?
That's cool.
Oh God,
yeah.
Oh. I thought Mr. Breaker would be in there to celebrate.
Rick Breaker. Or Barry Breaker, his uncle, who does maths in promos in TNA. The other title change of the night, although I guess it's not really a title change because they've unified the belts and now he's going by North American champion only.
Yeah.
But still, Carmelo Hayes, he beat Roderick Strong in the opener.
Yeah.
Roddy was the Cruiserweight champion. Of course, Carmelo was the North American champion. Those have been combined together. Hayes is the guy, what was he, like 27 years old? Young, exciting wrestler. For me, one of the most exciting guys on the whole brand. Maybe someone who isn't getting as much attention and coverage as a Breaker. But I think I'm even more excited about Hayes going forward. Either way, good show. Title changes. Yes.
Yeah, love Roderick Strong. I think he's phenomenally talented, but I think that was the right decision. Carmelo Hayes is a real star of theirs going forward, especially on this brand in terms of how they've utilised NXT 1.0 talent to put over NXT 2.0 talent, as you've exemplified there. So happy for Braun Breaker. Like you say, I think if you asked him, he'd probably admit that he... Again, 9 matches, but he wasn't ready when he first faced Tommaso Ciampa. I think they told a nice story, and this was a far better match to be crowned champion in. Kicked out of bloody everything, basically. Won with the Steiner recliner. Just call him Steiner. I don't get it.
Yeah, unless there's like some kind of copyright issue somewhere with the name Steiner, but then just call him Rex Steiner.
Yeah.
Just call him Braun Rex. That's a cool name as well. Either way, I thoroughly enjoyed the show.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Good stuff, especially the Von Wagner segment. Always a favourite here.
And great to see Walter back in NXT, and I really enjoyed that match with Imperium, MSK and Riddle.
That's why Hamlet's not in the office today. Working from home. No.
He looked great, by the way.
He did. He's in good shape.
Yeah, very good. Speaking of a former NXT star,
well, look at that.
Jake Atlas is now an AEW star. Jake Atlas is all elite. This was confirmed. He wrestled on Dark, and he was singing his praises off the back of that.
It was awesome.
But this was confirmed on Twitter last night by the one and only Tony Khan, of course. He tweeted, "Congratulations on winning your tryout match last night, Jake Atlas. What a great AEW debut." And now at Kenny Marquez, Jake Atlas's name on Twitter, and in real life, I should probably say. I'll see you tomorrow night in Newark at the debut of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Of course, Dynamite starts on TBS tonight. Safe travels. Welcome to the team. Jake Atlas is all elite. Now, Jake Atlas, of course, seemingly stepping away from wrestling in September of last year. He was part of the budget cuts. All the bollocks releases WWE did. I think his was the early August release, 6th of August if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And yeah, he is someone who we really enjoyed watching on NXT. Thought he was underutilized there, and I think he's going to really flourish in AEW if given the opportunity.
Yeah, I felt really bad for Jake in his situation when he was cut by WWE, because he ended up signing for WWE over the emergent AEW because it was his childhood dream to go to WWE and have a go of it and everything else. And this came on the back of him kind of surging and rising up as one of the hottest up-and-comers on the indie circuit. And he went to WWE and it didn't work out, and it's a shame. It's not his fault by any stretch of the imagination, and you know, he was never really a particularly consistent televised figure. He was never in massive programs or anything. I don't think he got much of a chance there. And then he comes out of the company. He says he wants to leave wrestling for a bit to take care of his mental health. It was kind of sad to see someone with his potentially dropping out of the business, but you got to look after your mental health. He comes back in. He had a really good squash against Serpentico and Dark. I believe at the tapings they did something where Tony Khan came out and addressed him on stage and stuff. So when you hear stuff like that and see stuff like that, you think, something's going on here. But yeah, good for Jake, man. I think he's a really talented guy. He's like 27 as well. He's still really young. Looking forward to more from him. More cartwheel DDTs.
I was going to say, one of my favourite finishes in wrestling.
So
I absolutely love that. I popped out of my chair the first time I saw it. Yeah, so talented. Best luck to him in AEW.
Looking forward to seeing what comes next. Now, Tony Khan, he's been talking.
Oh.
By the way,
good.
Yeah, not a great sign lately. I would say as well that, by the way, announcing a new signing is probably a more productive use of Tony Khan's Twitter than the bad decision he made on social media over the weekend. That was not good. Right. He's been talking, however, to Josh Woods of Z100, new interview, talking about new potential signings coming to AEW. When asked if there were dream signings coming to AEW, Tony said, "There is. They are in North America and they're coming pretty soon, and it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited." So AEW has shown no signs of slowing down. Who have we got in 2022 so far? Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez. The year is, check notes, 5 days old. Or was Mercedes technically last year? I don't know. The days are all soup to me at the moment.
They signed so many people last year.
It's wild. But we're going with 2 in 2022, even though that's technically wrong. Whatever. But it sounds like they're not slowing down. Now, you can speculate on things like this. I think the biggest names on the market would be your Bray Wyatts and your Braun Strowmans, but you'll also have people like Johnny Gargano and Keith Lee coming up once their non-competes expire as well. So there's lots of names. Speculate away. It's Gangrel.
It's not, but I can tell you exclusively, according to my sources, who it is. He said it was going to be a dream signing, and no offence to who I'm about to say, because like you say, you think dream signing, you think someone like a Keith Lee or a Bray Wyatt or Gargano, obviously. Yeah. 3 words, Scotty Too Hotty. That's who they're signing. He's mint. He's back. He does the worm. He can spell AEW or whatever you want to do in amongst all that.
He went 23 minutes with Joey Janela the other day. Crazy.
Great.
He did. He's
not signing him yet, though. You need him in the Rumble first. But, eventually there'll be...
he's going to do a Christian. Are they going to debut him at Revolution?
Honestly, I'm excited to these dream signings, but, not to put down on all this, but do you think there is going to be some, not necessarily releases, but contracts not being renewed? Because that roster is far too big now.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've reached a point where they do have too many people that they can utilize on their mainline TV shows. You're going to see people leave the company for sure. Yeah. You're going to have more people coming out and telling their stories and outlining their experiences in the company. I believe that the first round of contracts is up for renewal and expiration this year. So we'll see some movement on that and we'll cover it as it comes out.
Yeah, and quick word as well, specifically to Tony Khan, when those people, do leave and, you decide not to renew their contract, maybe don't wait a few weeks, days, whatever you want to say, and then just tweet, I didn't renew it because they're crap anyway.
Just don't tweet.
Just don't tweet, Tony.
Just don't tweet.
Just do your mad tweets of hey, Fox News, watch Dynamite tonight, or whatever it was. That's fine, but just don't slag off Big Swole or try and name all of the successful black people on your roster in a single tweet, because that's not a great exactly look if you think about it.
At all.
But yes, there are too many names in AEW, and a person who's got too many names now is Seth Rollins. He's got a new name, Andy Murray. He's not Seth Rollins. Don't worry, they haven't called him Seth Farter or something like that. He's still got the Seth and the Rollins part. They've just toyed in a big name in the middle. You probably could see this coming if you watched Monday Night Raw. They were really going hard on it. He is now Seth freaking Rollins. They've changed his name on WWE.com. The bio now reads, "This is Seth freaking Rollins. He's really freaking good." Everything I like that they do with him on television, and yet they still go, "No, how can we screw that up?"
It's so weird, isn't it? Because the freak Seth freaking Rollins was 5 years ago, wasn't it? And then they just brought it back on Raw, like they were really hammering it, weren't they? So it's no great surprise. You know what? I'm gonna stray from the path here. I actually quite like this because when I saw this story first, I looked at it and I was like, what? Idiots! This is lame. But then I was like, hold on a minute. Seth Rollins' character is a moron.
Yes.
So it's he comes in with the suits and he's a megalomaniac and he thinks he's the Joker or whatever. For me, this is suitably stupid. I'm kind of into it.
At least he's not just Seth or Rollins or Seth Drip God Rollins or something like that. Thank goodness for small mercies, basically. But yeah, expect to see more middle names being hoisted onto people, because that's the thing that Vince has woken up today and decided to do. Apparently.
That's the thing about Seth Rollins, isn't it? I think I've seen evaporated rivers with more drip than him, but I think that's the point as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There we go.
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, we're going to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Ryan Ahard, who says, do you think AEW should still introduce a trios belt, or should they introduce a TBS Tag Team Championship belt?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm assuming by TBS Tag Team title belt we mean a women's division.
Yes.
To line up with the TBS title. For me, I would still prefer the trios titles.
Yeah.
I think there are more interesting in-ring and storytelling possibilities with the massive amount of groups you have involving male wrestlers in AEW. I think that's just a little bit more viable at the moment. But the women's division is growing. We've said in the past that we didn't want to see any kind of women's tag team championships until there was enough people there and enough natural tag teams to justify it. But we've seen in recent months with more people coming in. Obviously, we've got Ty J, we got the Bunny and Penelope Ford. What a ridiculous street fight the other. We said it yesterday, but it was so awesome. It looks like Mercedes Martinez. She's coming in. She's feuding with Thunder Rosa, with Jade Cargill. Seemingly, they're friends and stuff. So there are alliances growing. But for me, a trios title is still the answer.
Yeah, I think you've literally only just it's not been crowned yet, has it? You've only just got another women's title being brought in, and as that division grows, maybe we can discuss it. But I don't want to overload it. So you've got like 3 titles with only, let's say, 10 prominent people on television, 10 prominent women competing in and around them, and you just having to sort of hoy singles. They hate it when they just go, 2 singles people, we haven't got anything for you, so you're suddenly a tag team for no apparent reason now. I think a trios title, like you say, we can sit here and reel off probably 10 teams of 3 to be competing for that easily, and I think that's the next step for them. And it's not a mid-card title, they would never call it that, but the TBS Championship you've got for the women now, I think, is more than enough to cater for people who aren't maybe at the level to compete for the world title just yet. Rahul V. Krishnan gives us our second question of the day. Rahul says, with WWE failing to build any new main event stars to win the Rumble match, do you think WWE will bring back The Fiend and have him win the Rumble, setting up a Reigns versus Fiend match at Mania for the Universal title?
Yeah, I mean, I this idea keeps running through my head. I think there's a really good chance we're going to see one of, or both, of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt in this Rumble. When you look at them coming out of the company, Braun was on a big money contract, cynically, because WWE are quite cynical people. You might look at that and say, oh, right, yeah, they're just cutting that contract off and they'll bring him back in on less money. Bray Wyatt, meanwhile, was a proven moneymaker in terms of merch. So once his creative issues that we heard of with Vince, once that's kind of subsided a little bit, bring him back in and make some cash, baby. I wouldn't be surprised if any of this happened. I don't think there's an obvious Royal Rumble winner. I think if you're going to go for
either.
Yeah, really. Like, maybe if you're going to go for the idealistic mid-carder who gets elevated thing, it might be Damian Priest.
Yeah.
But I don't get the impression that he's particularly over for that spot. So
I was more confident. I was more confident in like Priest and Ripley a few months back.
Yeah.
Just like they're just keeping them busy with tag stuff or
keeping
US title stuff.
Away.
I don't know. I'm hoping it's Big E. I'm biased, but I'm hoping it's Big E. But I could easily see, The Fiend or someone like Braun Strowman come back.
Why not?
But even if The Fiend does come back, I think they are doing Reigns Lesnar, no come what may, aside from illness or anything like that. So I wouldn't expect it to go in that direction. But God, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley's a tasty affair, isn't it?
That would rule. Yeah. They had a great feud a couple of years ago as well, like really underrated.
Wasn't that the one that they just went, oh yeah, Corey Graves can just swear now.
Yeah, I thought you called him Cora Jade there.
Sorry to Cora Jade for not winning the title. Commiserations. Stuart Easter Taylor. Easter's on its way, Andy. There's mini eggs in the Tesco.
We've already referenced the bunny.
Stuart Easter Taylor gives us our final question. He read this yesterday, hence why he says, afternoon guys, it was great having you back on the Newsvid today. Question for tomorrow, what's one wrestling opinion of yours that most others would disagree?
Brother.
Second day back and we're going to get abuse on social media.
Yeah, I usually keep
Thanks,
these...
Stuart.
Yeah. God curse you, Stuart. I usually keep these to myself because I don't like people coming at me on Twitter. Okay, I don't actually know if this is unpopular because I don't get involved in these kind of discussions, but I don't think this Becky Lynch character is any good.
Okay.
I don't think it's good. It feels unnatural. It doesn't feel like she's particularly comfortable doing it. Everything comes off as kind of forced. The Big Time Beck's nickname is It's just another example of Conor McGregor's really obnoxious influence on pro wrestling. Nobody is able to pull off what Conor McGregor does, and I'm not talking about punching old men in pubs. Becky's not great at it. Will Ospreay's not great at it in New Japan. I think we need to leave the McGregor influence over here and go back to the old Becky Lynch, who was awesome, because this one kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think the thing is she's still insanely popular, so she has to come out and go, yeah, well, this town sucks, to try and get some sort of booze.
I don't like your sports team.
Yeah, that they're not just piping in. I get that. My unpopular opinion, should I say it?
Yeah, go on.
Is, and I'll stand by this, I will caveat this by saying I haven't been back to watch it, so it's probably not the strongest opinion of mine. But I did like One Final Beat, Gargano versus Ciampa, and every time I say it, I get disappointed looks from him and disappointed looks from the Dudley Boys. Andy, come back, because you've got to hear this and finally. I'll get onto it now, I promise, right? Andy, have you heard about the 90-Day Fiancé star who farts in jars?
Yes.
Right, well, she had to retire, unfortunately, because she had to go to hospital for farting in a jar too much or something. How's that related to wrestling? John Silver, of course. Of course it's John Silver. John Silver, by the way, before you get any ideas, he's just tweeted about it. He's not, been revealed as one of the people who pays for it. I'm digging deeper a hole. John Silver tweeted, "This is why I never got into the fart game. It's an extremely fulfilling career, but the risks aren't worth it. Don't try this at home, kids."
Gee whiz. It's a shame this didn't come out the day before, because you could have used it for your Zeitgeist heist on the podcast. Natalia's back, baby, and we're farting all day. John Silver, what a gem.
Who do you think would make the most money from selling their farts at WhatCulture, and why is it Adam Nicholas?
Adam Nicholas does smell like perfume.
Yeah.
So probably him. I don't know, man. We got some pretty prolific farters in here, don't we?
Feel free to speculate in the comment section below.
Remember the saga of the Mad Farter? That was something else. Still at large, I hear.
Let's wrap this up quickly.
Farts.
Let us know your thoughts on that. Please let us know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dudley Boys sitting down to review New Year's Evil from NXT 2.0 and look ahead to AEW Dynamite launching on TBS tonight, of course. You can also let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at...
You can follow me at Andy H. Murray. The H today stands for Hey Man, rip a fart.
It also stands for Happy Birthday Adam Cleary. He's taking some well-earned time off after holding the fort whilst he did it all by himself.
All by himself. There was no one else here. He had to make all those videos. Fair play.
Send him a happy birthday today at Adam Cleary on Twitter. You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Farts.